look, another repaint. What's going on, everybody? This is Super Robot Ed, and today we have in front of you the red repaint of Trax, aka Autobot Road Rage from the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy, and is a Target Red Card exclusive. She came up on pre-order, I'd say about a few weeks ago, and I just hit the button and she came a couple of days ago. And yes, it's a she. So the history of the Red Trax is Red Trax was actually the prototype, or let's just say one of the releases of the Diaclone Trax that came out, or the Corvette Stingray. Now, oddly enough, if you look on the back of the box for mainly going into 85 G1 Transformers, you had a Red Trax. And that Red Trax was because probably more than likely the artist only had the Red Trax to go by. Now she was, well, let's just say the toy in red was released in Diaclone, and it was a Joustra exclusive as well as an eHobby exclusive. But in Europe, or mainland Europe, this was Trax. And believe it or not, they did have a Red Trax, and it is a Milton Bradley version of the toy. So they did have a Red Trax, and you never saw a Red Trax, just like you never saw the blue streak. The only time, and in this one time, that this actual Red Trax here was produced in the same G1 packaging with the blue depiction of Trax, is in Europe mainland only. So we've got that out the way. And now let's get into some few things here. And first, before we move the car out the way, for you box aficionados, this is the box. It's got Red Trax on the front. Road Rage, with the head of Road Rage, as you can see it right there. My fat fingers out the way. And from the back, we get to see the packaging there. And of course, looks pretty good. A few changes, I think, that were made, but let's get a closer look at that packaging. Looks really nice. I enjoy it. And of course, it's the same thing. Now, no card in the box. And we get the instructions, which I don't need the instructions, but they're instructions. They're in green. For my instruction people out there who swear by instructions, oh my God. You're about as bad as Hot Wheel collectors. But that's another story for another day. Anyway, not dissing on anybody. I'm just saying because I'm a cardboard box collector of Hot Wheels too. Now, let's get into the car. Now, the one thing I'm going to say about this paint job and this car right off the bat is I really do like this in red. I probably would say it's the same details, but it looks really nice. And yes, it has the same problems. In fact, it's more problematic than my copy of Trax, and my copy of Trax is pretty good, comparable to most standards. But the main thing is the emblem. And this emblem is pretty much spot on. It's spot on for the Diaclone version of the toy, eHobby, whatever version that you got that's red, not counting Masterpiece or Shattered Glass or BotCon or whatever, but it's red, but it's the same as Trax. Back here, instead of these being white, they're blue, or they should be in this color, about a darker blue or closer to a very navy blue, I think, what the original is. And of course, one thing I will say about Trax, as well as Road Rage, as she does clean up nicely, has the same weapons. The only difference is they're now blue instead of white, and she still has the same black gun here. Oh, dropped the gun. As you can see there. So I'll let you see all that. And of course, if you want to put everything together, you can, just like the original Trax, and stick it right here. And voila. And the other thing is the dark tinted windows over the more blue windows that Trax has. Wish Trax had these windows. That would have been pretty cool, you know, because he's just blue. And comparison time, here he is, and this is with the Larkin's Lair weapon upgrade set, which looks nice, but I'm going to take them off for just a second. So I know I mentioned Larkin's Lair in this video for Road Rage that they could make weapons for her, and he hasn't said anything about it yet. But I understand, I would like to keep them different, you know, so we do that. And of course, the comparison is the emblem, which I still don't understand why they went with this. Is just, and this is more what the emblem should look like. But I guess they knew this was coming, and maybe Target wanted more of an emblem than that. Other than that, both are the same. I just think that the red is a bit more striking, but it's not a difference like, oh, this has like a chrome paint or some type of gloss paint. It's the same all the way around. The front is, both of the fronts are black, but the bottom part is now black instead of gray. And from the bottom, it is gray, and there, of course, there's the red paint from when I painted him. She is blue, and the parts that are gray are black here. The waist is not painted, it's all black, and that's pretty much G1, I think. We'll get to more when we go to the flight mode. The white parts are now the navy blue. The gray is white here, and the gray is white here. So there's like some odd differences, but nothing, you know, bad. I think it's pretty good. Now, one thing I say is that his parts fit a little better than hers, which I'm not pleased with that, but I don't really want to go in and trying to take this apart and doing all that stuff. So I'm going to leave it as is, you know, just for the sake of, you know, not damaging my toys any further. But yeah, I really do dig the color scheme. I think it's very nice. You know, I think it's one that's wanted. The only other one I think is there's the black version of Trax, which I think they did as like an evil Decepticon with some green applied into Masterpiece. I don't know if it was released. I think it was a lucky draw or something like that. I can't remember. I'm not going all into that because I always wanted this one anyway, even during the e-hobby days. So yeah, you know, enough of trying to fix the front. We're going to go now into flight mode. And we're back, and now we have Road Rage in her flight mode. Now let's go over to flight mode real quick. Of course, from here, now you can see the navy blue wings. You can see the navy blue rudders, and of course you fit the weapons in there, but let's take that out just for a second so we can look at that. And there's blue and red, and of course they don't have that paint detail how of Trax has, and we'll show that off in a second, but you get the idea. Everything else is exactly the same as if you had Trax. We'll put the weapon back on, and we're going to do a quick comparison. Now, I have Trax in a different configuration because you can't see the rudders, tail rudders, because with the Larkin's Lair upgrade, the missiles fit in there, so you have to kind of do a different configuration. But if you want to be able to see the tail rudders like he has, it's the same. And other than that, without the missing paint detail to kind of show you, like, you know, I say that that's for the flight mode. You know, everything else is the same. It's the exact same car, exact same molding. There's no difference except color. And for this mode, as well as the car mode, we are looking at approximately 4.5 inches for the car. It's about 4.5 inches through and through. You sit it right there, 4.5. So what we're going to do next is we're going to get on to robot mode. Then after that, we're going to go ahead and take care of the final thoughts. Be back in 2 and 2. And we're back by YouTube magic. And let's talk about the robot mode for Road Rage. So right off the back, she has black here. Of course, the outline is red. The Autobot symbol is in a black embossment, and that is red. You can see it there. It's pretty cool. I like that. The head sculpt is different than Trax, which we will compare to. It does have a Fenneman vibe to it. And the articulation is exactly the same. Arm rotates 360. Arm goes out to here. The head rotates. You can make it turn 360, but with the back kibble here, you probably won't be able to do that. Articulation is the same. It's annoying a little bit, but it works. And of course, leg goes out to there. Leg goes out to about right there. But due to the kibble, you're only going to get so much. The feet do swivel. The hands rotate in, and the arm bends here. It has white fist. And it has waist swivel. And everything else, is pretty much exactly the same. And then from the back. And of course, my copy does have the issues with the legs locking in. And, well, surprisingly, my copy of Trax doesn't have that issue. The legs are a little loose here where you can kind of do the... And of course, if you want, you can Van Dam. But it won't stay, but it has the ability to do. All right. And this happens a lot on this leg. And so it's annoying. I'm sure there are fixes. I know there's a few, but I'm not really interested in doing that at the moment. I just want to talk about the figure. It's a QC issue, and it's definitely not one that should happen. So, just keep that in mind. For you people that love Hasbro so much, just remember one thing: I pay for the toys, so I don't owe Hasbro anything. They know that, but as long as they can convince you otherwise, you're pretty much beholden to their rules and regulations and things and such. Other channels get away with murder. Now, I'm gonna do a quick comparison with the other color, and then we're just gonna sum it up. But let's get a measurement. Let's get it straightened out and make sure we can get a nice cohesive measurement here. And from standard about 5 inches. Wait, let me get a good measurement, because like I said, this panel on this side does not lock in. And it is annoying. Hasbro, listen, it is annoying. So it's 5 inches, about 5 inches of the head, and about 5.5 if you count the tips of where the guns are. So that's for our illustrious fans of measurement. And we're going to do a quick comparison with Trax. Now, like I said, my copy of Trax is surprisingly sturdy, so I'm not complaining about that. In fact, I didn't have the same issues as other people with mine, so I'm not going to gloat on that, because I know a lot of people that had issues and they really wanted their Trax to, not have those issues. And then we would want our Road Rage to also have those issues, not have those issues. But as you can see here, comparison wise, the arms here are gray with, like I said again, with the red and yellow paint. She doesn't have it. Her fists are white. The Autobot symbol is red on here, and it's kind of more or less tampled on yellow, while hers has the more traditional silver embossed Autobot symbol, and it's tampled on black. The feet are exactly the same, except a different color. His is all gray. Hers is black and white. The waist panel is blue with white paint inside. Oh, Lord. And hers is all black. Other than that, with the two head sculpts, we can kind of see it here. Again, his is different than hers, so that's a good thing. So overall, This makes them different figures. And with the Larkin's Lair upgrade, that does kind of help to differentiate them. Very similar to how we do with the Dotson brothers and things of that nature, as far as especially with Prowl and Blue Streak and things of that nature. So I think that's pretty much a fair comparison. And let's go ahead and do the final thoughts. Let's just go right to it. All right. So, final thoughts. And I gotta say, I really do like this as Road Rage. I like the subtle change in the head sculpt and the way that the figure is painted. You do get a more feminine vibe, even though it's the exact same shape and body as Trax. I think with having the upgrade for Trax from Larkin's Lair, it gives it like two distinct characters instead of just being a repaint and slight remold of the head. I still think the QC issues that carry over from Trax are prevalent, and that's not good. But like I said, we know what we're getting into. And I will add her to my other squad of Transformers that I have, that are not the original G1 characters or anything like that. I'm hoping that Hasbro does more Diaclone figures and Diaclone colors. We're getting there. We've got a few, but we need more. And of course with Shattered Glass, it's not really helping the cause. But we're hearing about Trailbreaker and Hoist getting their Diaclone repaints. Of course, we have Spin Out and Cordon, which were the Diaclone repaints of Sunstreaker, as well as I don't know if we're getting any others, but definitely we still have the Blue Streak that floated around for a bit. So I don't know if that's a custom or if that's going to be real, but we do know that that's coming. And I'm just looking forward to whatever else they bring in this kind of like a Diaclone, these pre-Transformer colors. That would be very nice. So my take on Road Rage, it's a pretty good figure if you like Trax, and if you don't like Trax, still get it. It's a Target exclusive. I know people are upset with exclusives, but hey, if you're a Red Card member, you get 5% off. Find yourself a person that's a Red Card member and give them the money to pay for the figure if you don't want to be a Red Card member. Alright, so I'm done with the review of Road Rage. What are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments below. Do you like the figure? Do you hate the figure? Overall, I like it. I like her. And she's very cool. So peace to everybody. Thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for all my subscribers to Road to 1000. We're getting very close. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. This is Super Robot Ed. And we got one more to do. Signing out. Peace.